Welcome to another episode of the Mad Lucrative podcast. We had a few technical difficulties, but tonight I guess we're going to do a little bit different. This is episode 85. Episode 85. I'm the host, the one and only Magneto 7 in the building. So, hopefully y'all weekend was great. Mine was amazing. We actually dropped the girls off this weekend because this upcoming weekend is Father's Day weekend, and it's also our wedding anniversary weekend. So I don't have my claps. I can't give myself a clap today because the laptop's not up, but it's fine. We all here. But I had a few topics I wanted to definitely make sure I touched this week. And it might not be a long pod, but I did want to be here to kind of shed some light on a few situations. One of which is men and intentional and being intentional and loving certain things about what we do. So I know when I first started, welcome, I'm back. But I know when I first started doing the podcast, for instance, I was one of those people I've always been adamant about doing something and making sure I continue to do something, make sure I get better at it. Because I do believe the more you do something, the better you get at it. So, let's start there. But I would go back and forth in my brain whether people would actually want to hear what I was talking about when it came to the podcast. Because I don't know how many people remember, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Instagram, if you're watching this on Facebook. I don't know how many people remember when I was putting the clips out, and I was like, it was called like Nito's Corner or something like that. And I just wanted to be a person that could shed light on certain issues or certain conversations and make sure that no matter what happens, you know that you had somebody here that you could talk to and you could kind of lean on, so to speak, because everybody can't lean on me. You got to have your own people. But I wanted to be the person that people could come to lean on and have conversations with, because that was just a normal thing as it relates to just how I came up. So I think I had the conversation a while ago. I was talking about how my wife and I would go to it was a McDonald's back when we did eat McDonald's. If you eat McDonald's right now, you're too grown for that. We don't do McDonald's no more. But I remember going to McDonald's one time, and we were in the drive-thru, and the guy that was there, he clearly had kids. I ain't had no kids just yet. But he just started spilling out all his information and telling me what he wanted to do and how certain things wasn't going right in his life. And I was just like, yo, I guess I'm the encouraging moment right now. So I just started talking to him, pouring out. And that's just happened to me over and over and over, especially in the last 10 years. It just happens over and over and over. So now it's spilled over from being like that to now it's online, and I get a lot of people that might ask me for certain advice, and when it comes to the fellas, I'm noticing it's a consistent issue in the relational department. And when I say relational, I'm not just talking about ladies. I'm not talking about dating or married situations, but they will ask me questions about just how to interact. Especially, that was why I asked the girl last week. Shouts out to Paris. I don't have a clap button again. Sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all used to the clap button. I'm sorry. But that's why I asked Paris last week. I was like, well, how can dudes actually like step to women and just build a genuine relationship without feeling like it's an ulterior motive? Because I did understand what she said. I do understand what she meant by her. I remember, I can't get it out tonight, but I do remember what she said when she was like, well, a lot of the times the women just feel like they have to be on edge when it comes to a dude wanting to just talk because they feel like it's an ulterior motive, like they're trying to get in their pants, they want to sleep with them. So I was like, okay, I get it. So how can we not be that? I kept asking her that. I was like, how can we fix that? So she was just telling me this, telling me that. And from the clip that she posted, that we collaborated on, from the clip she posted, I think it might be at like 40,000 or 50,000 views right now. But I noticed a lot of mixed, hey ma, I noticed a lot of mixed reviews when it came to the guys like responding to everything that she had to say. And I didn't appreciate it. I did not appreciate it because, for one, after I have any female on the pod, especially if they cool, I feel like that's a little sister. So she's like a little sister to me. So I saw that she posted the clip and she was just talking about how when it comes to men, the first thing she looks at is the character. What's the character of a man? And oh, heart you, mom. What's the character of a man? And what is it that they can do to actually get, I guess, close to the women? And she answered the question spot on. Spot on. And I noticed a lot of the dudes just started commenting like, yeah, it's a gold digger in private. Or they were saying like, yeah, what woman is actually looking for the character in the man? They're looking for the money and all this other stuff. And I got a little disappointed. Because I was like, yo, how did we post a clip that was, for me, it was a pure clip. It wasn't like she was trying to be seen, be heard, shock value, maybe a little bit of shock value. But I feel like she was a real genuine woman. And we posted the clip and the dudes was just saying that she was fake and she capping. And I was like, okay. So I wanted to take tonight to talk to all y'all fellas, especially the ones that feel like they have to have something to say. Like, it was another thing she said in the pod, and I don't know if y'all caught it, but she was saying, everybody don't need a voice. Some of y'all need to shut up. Period. And I agree. Of course, I normally will try to smooth it over and try to make it a nice, cool conversation. But some of y'all need to shut up. Period. It's a wrap. Like, just erase your social media, everything. Just erase it. Just be done with it. And start doing some digging on who you are as a person, what you can do to better yourself and move forward so you don't have such a toxic outlook on women. Right? I'm going to say that for y'all. The whole pod is not going to be about that tonight, but I want to address y'all first because I feel like all of y'all that just had something to say just to get a comment, just to get a like, just to get 30 other dudes, like, I'm going to see if I can pull it up. But just, y'all messy. Like, y'all lame. Like, hold on. Let me see. Yeah. See, right now I think we're at 2,800 likes, right? I don't know if y'all see it right there. See it right there? Well, there it goes. But 2,000 likes. And, where we at? 65,000 views, right? 65,000 views from something we posted 2 weeks ago now. So the majority, when I started going through just reading the comments, and I normally don't do that, I just normally just post something and be done with it. I don't have time to be going back and forth with nobody. But we posted it and I just saw all of the feedback from the dudes that was negative. Then the women was like, yeah, I agree. It is about the character of a man. And I'm just like, dudes, we are a part of the issue. I can't say y'all because I am a fella too. We are a part of the issue. We got to do some soul searching. But tonight, I want to talk to the fellas. It's Father's Day weekend. We ain't got but 2 people on Facebook. It's fine. I had to kill my TikTok feed. So everybody that's on TikTok, if you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching this on YouTube on Thursday, please forgive me. Please forgive me. I didn't mean it. Laptop is just doing some weird stuff tonight, and I don't know. Like, the party was popping. I had Frankie Beverly and Maze. Like, I had the whole playlist, like, just set up for the fellas, and it ain't working tonight. But it's fine. So, tonight I want to talk about men's care, right? I might put that on the screen, men's care. Or the intentional man. That sounds better. The intentional man. Let's do that. So, just digging straight in, I think when it comes to fellas, we have a difficult time feeling and showing love intentionally and encouraging everybody or each other intentionally. We have a difficult time doing that. And I'm going to dig in why I think that is. So I think first off, we got to make sure we have a idea that, or come to the conclusion that we have to have a mindset shift, right? You're wonderful, Father. Oh, thanks, Mom. But we have to have a mindset shift, and we have to move from sympathy to show empathy, right? Sympathy, if we want to break it down, sympathy is pity. So pity is like, yeah, bro, you know, me too, boy. I feel you, boy. Everybody broke out here in these streets, boy. Ain't nobody getting it. Pity, that's pity right there. But we want to move from sympathy to empathy. Empathy is understanding and embracing the growth, right? Understanding is this, like, everybody's broke. I'm gonna use the same statement. Yeah, bro, everybody broke out here in these streets. Wow. Okay, I see you feel that way. Why do you feel that way? Well, shoot, this didn't happen, this didn't happen, this didn't happen, this didn't happen. Okay, well, have you tried doing X, Y, Z? Oh, I can try that. A few weeks later, a few months later, guess what? We up. All because we moved from not being sympathetic about ourselves, but empathy, right? Empathy, not sympathy. Another phrase, don't stay where you are too long. Wherever you are right now, especially if you're in the space of being depressed and having anxiety, because I know it's still a recession. The price of eggs then came down. It don't really matter to me. We got a chicken, but the price of certain things are starting to come down. So don't feel like you got to have the mindset of broke, busted, disgusted, won't never make it, can't never build relationships. I'm this, I'm lower, I'm fat. I'm trying to get all of the ones that we kind of use. I can't afford gas. I got a terrible job. I got this going on. I got gout. Anything that we try to use, right? Don't stay there too long. We got to have a mindset shift. We got to get to the space where we're actually seeking out, shouts out to Reggie, but we got to get to the point where we're seeking out the solution, right? Don't stay there too long. Seek out the solution. If you feel foggy with your direction, this is one of the best things I've learned to do. If you're foggy with the direction on how you're going to move or what's the next step, try to start coming up with the plan. If you can't come up with the plan, then start thinking about what things are you doing. And I just watched this on one of these podcasts, so I'm going to just tell y'all to relay the message. But he was saying, if you feel like you don't know what to do, maybe you need to start figuring out what you're good at. What can you easily do over and over and over, where you won't get tired of it because you're actually having fun while you do it. And what can you do that's going to provide some type of results? That's what it's all about. I'll say in the last 2 to 3 years, everything I do, I try to do things that's going to provide some type of result, right? For instance, which I'm starting to put some of my muscle mass back on. I feel a little bit bloated though, a little bit too bloated, but I might cut some of it. But when I felt like I had to lose some weight, I had to cut some weight. What I got to do? It's simple. Everybody knows how to lose weight. It's the easiest thing ever. Losing weight is the easiest thing ever. Check it out. This is how you lose weight. Eat more of the things that you're supposed to eat. And work out. More activity. Over a long period of time. And you'll see the results. Easy. That's the easiest play ever. Easy. But how many people try to figure out, okay, I need to do the Atkins diet. Oh no, you know what? I need to do the Beyonce diet this week. Oh, you know what? Well, how many laps you do? Well, I need to do about 10 laps on the treadmill. Okay, no, not laps on the treadmill. Well, what you do? You do squats. I need to do some squats too. Oh, what's that new workout plan? It's $50. I'm about this new workout plan for $50. No, it's easy. Losing weight is easy. You eat more of what you're supposed to eat. And he's talking about the sweets. Everybody know if it feels good to you while you're eating it, and you salivating, then you get the itis after you eat. You get the itis after you eat, then you know you probably shouldn't be eating it. Let me see what mom said. Plays a whole exactly. It's a whole mentality change. It's a change. So same thing with finances, right? And we got a whole lot more to dig in on, but same thing with finances. If you know at the end of the month, that joint, your account might be a little slim. What up, Dre? At the end of the month, the account might be a little bit slim. What can you do? Save more money, spend less. Easy. It's an easy play. But what happens is this: we build certain things in our brain that are priority, right? One thing that we love, and I say we, all of my white listeners, this is not for you. I do have more for you, but some of this is for my black folk. But as black folk, we know that some of the fun things, the material things, the clothing, the shoes, a certain type of cars, chains, even certain houses, if you're in a certain tax bracket, certain houses and all these things, these are things, right? If you buy that thing on the first of the month, that mortgage is going to come around every month. So if you can't afford it, don't do it. Right? It's a simple change, simple shift. But a lot of times what we try to do, well, I need to get on that Dave Ramsey plan. The Dave Ramsey plan say, spend less, save more. I need to have $1,000 in my reserves. I need to have 6 months worth of, all these things are basic. These are basic principles. But what happens is we don't want to do the basic work. Same thing. Lose weight. How you gotta do it? Eat more what you're supposed to have. Yo, hey. Yo, eat more what you're supposed to have. Get some more movement. You will lose weight. Save more money. Spend less. You'll start building a nest egg to get a bag. Right? Everything don't have to be a scam. What up, Roger? What up? I don't have a clap button tonight, y'all. I'm sorry. My laptop is down. I'm going to have to get my tech. Shouts out to Dimitri. He's going to fix this, yes. You're going to have to fix my laptop tomorrow, but we good. So, my next point. What can you do? What can you do to start building up your mentality? This is one thing that I feel like a lot of fellas kind of dig in on, back to basics, straight up. I think a lot of us fellas have an issue with this. What can we do to build up our mentality, build up our know-how, right? One thing I started doing probably about, golly, what's this, probably it's 2018, so 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, it's about 5 to 6 years. I started going hard on listening to everything that would feed me positive imagery. If it was something positive about how to be black in America, right? Just taking one for instance. And then I take another one and I have a whole month just listening to $1 million and $1 billion business people. Then I would go a whole month listening to good marketing plans that work for different businesses. When we're talking about Walmart, we're talking about Home Depot, we're talking about all of the big brands, Fortune 500 companies and bigger, right? I was listening to these people since 2018 every day. I stopped listening to the radio, and I'm a music producer. I stopped listening to the radio because I was like, it's not feeding me. And my downtime is not feeding me. I started listening to more spiritual guidance, right? Shouts out to King Legend. I ain't gonna say certain preachers. I ain't gonna say that because I'm gonna get some folk mad. Join the Freemasonry. Yo, King Legend 757 said I need to join the Freemasons. I may do that next year. We'll see. Sign the juice. You gotta drink the juice. But yeah, start, fellas and ladies, if y'all listening to it on YouTube, start listening to certain things that's gonna feed you to be a better person. Certain songs, now I ain't gonna lie, when I'm working out, I'm listening to everything. I ain't gonna lie. I'm listening to Drake. I'm listening to Ace Hood. Fellas, I had the playlist already ready for you. Self-identity helps you know your word. Yep, exactly, Broderick. Exactly. So, another thing. One of the easiest things that I started to do last year. Was it last year? Yeah, last year. Is be responsible to myself and hold myself accountable when it comes to working out and eating right. The easiest thing that you can control is your weight and your eating routine. The easiest thing. When it comes to money, it's a little bit more variables that's in the play. When it comes to how to market, what type of product are you selling, what type of relationships do you have, how long can you do the job, can you sell the business after you build it to a certain point, is this a business that you can franchise? There's a lot of variables. It's a lot of variables that come into the money play and how to make money. But when it comes to weight, you can do this and you can start seeing the results in a month or so. And the more results you see, the more you want to do, hopefully, right? So that's what I want fellas to do. Just start paying attention to who you are and what you're becoming. It's a guy that I listen to, Myron Golden, I think he's in Orlando. But Myron Golden says everything is doing something to you. It's either working for you or it's working on you. I love that. When that man said that, everything you do is either working on you or it's working. What did he say? I'm a slave to the righteousness. There we go. But he says either working on you or it's working for you. I think that's what it is. Yeah, working on you or working for you. So, case in point, if you are cutting weight right now and you're trying to build up the discipline. The discipline is really the main thing that's the driving factor. But you're working on your discipline and you gotta do this. You gotta eat more apples. You gotta drink the water. You gotta do all the stuff that's water be stinking sometimes. Y'all know about that stink water? If your water stink, then you might have some good water. It might be good water. But all of these things are not comfortable, but at least you know if you do these things, you eat the vegetables, you eat all the stuff you're supposed to eat, you eat lean, you work out just a little bit, even if you're just walking around. The more you do it, the more results you're going to see. I'll say this, closing out that point. I think it's ridiculous that so many of us are starting to justify stupidness. A lot of us are justifying stupidity. What I mean by that is this. So I saw, and I don't really shy away. So everybody knows, if you follow my platform, y'all know I don't shy away from nothing. But I find it to be very disappointing. I think that's the best words without me cussing. I'm not cussing. So I find it very disappointing that the culture that's being groomed right now is grooming people to not only move away from spirituality and biblical logic. That's the best word I could say. We're moving away from biblical logic and spirituality to just stupid. Stupid. What I mean by that is this. I saw a clip, and I might post it. I think I posted it one time. But y'all know I don't have any issue. I don't have no smoke with nobody. Yo. I don't have no smoke with nobody. But if you tell me that a real woman was not born, and if somebody asks a simple question, this is a simple question, the simplest question in the world: what is a man? What is a woman? These are simple questions, and people start saying, well, what do you mean by that? What is a woman to you? What is a man to you? And I'm just like, my first response would be, if it was born with a PRD, I'm gonna let y'all spell out the rest of the word. If it was born with a PRD, then that's the evidence. If it can shoot a baby out, huh? Naturally. Shoot a baby out naturally. Cause watch this. And I'm gonna get off of it because this is about the fellas tonight. I didn't mean for none of tonight's conversation to be racy at all. But if it can shoot a baby out naturally and I don't have to ask questions about it, it probably is what it is. Or this is another one. If you have to still, okay, without going around the bush, without going around in circles, if you gotta have semen and you got to have an egg to make a baby, how is it a guess? How are we guessing? It's touchy. Yeah, it's touchy. But how? My following, okay, so I'll let you know a little bit about my following. So far, my following are male, primarily male, up till about 48. About 48, they start to taper off. 75% male listen to this podcast. And for me, I look at it like this. If there are a lot of men that's in the world right now that want to have relationships, they want to be married, they want to have children, they want to have a future with the wife, right? But if the culture is selling stupid, well, what's a man? I don't know. What's a man to you? I don't know. How you answer that question? And then you start to put certain bills and certain legal things into play to back this train of thought. How do we win? How do we win? Because I always, again, I skate past where we are now and I go straight to the future. How do we win? We're not winning if we are trying to make logic out of something that's just not necessarily logic. Normal people know the difference. These weirdos trying to rewrite the truth. And King Legend, okay. This is my thing, and this is about the fellas. I don't have a clap button to change up the energy, so I'm just here now. I'm here. But I don't like where we're going. I feel like a lot of us are, case in point, I have one guy, I'm not going to say his name, but I have one guy that's actually in the middle of a really, really good business deal, making good money, really good business deal. And I was just telling him about certain things he could start changing up with his marketing and, you know, watch the certain relationships that he's getting into, start looking at certain business moves and start thinking about what's the end of the business. Because a lot of the businesses that I only start them to sell it in the end. Like, I'm not starting, like the Mad Lucrative podcast. I didn't necessarily start it to sell it, but y'all won't see my face on the camera in the next maybe 3 to 4 years, maybe 5 years. You won't see me on camera. I'm going to have 2 other people doing the pod, and I just own the network, and we make sure we get a bag, and I'm providing an opportunity for somebody else that thinks like I think to be heard and seen. So, I was talking to this guy A right here. And this is one guy. I'm not talking about more people, but this is one guy I'm talking to. And after we finished up our business talk, and I was encouraging him to do certain things, then he was just telling me about how difficult the dating market was. Now this fella, now I feel like I'm one of the flies. Like your boy, if I wasn't married, I'd be in these streets. I'm not playing. But he's a good looking fella, drives nice, stay in a nice crib, very driven, focused on his business, right? And he's having a difficult time spotting out what we would call a genuine woman. And he's just like, yo, I don't know. I might have to go overseas. And for me, I'm just like, I hear what y'all saying, because when it comes to what we're being sold as a culture right now, it seems counterproductive. Everything that's happening right now seems counterproductive. Even some of the grandmothers, shouts out to, now I ain't gonna lie, some of these grandmamas out here thick. They Megan Thee Stallion thick, super thick. I get it. But why y'all on the gram and on TikTok shaking A? I'm doing a good job censoring myself too. Y'all gotta give me credit. But why y'all on the gram shaking A? Why y'all on TikTok shaking A? Like, that's not necessary. It's time for everybody to act their age. Now I get it that some people are just they're newly divorcees and they want to have a wild side and hot girl summer and all that kind of stuff. Props on sis. Hey, thank you, cuz. But I know that they want to have their fun because they probably just got out of a marriage and everybody all women, and I'm gonna let y'all chime in. Women gonna chime in on YouTube, and I'm sorry, I just gotta say it. What makes y'all think that after y'all have been married for 15 years or so, that you're having hot girl summer and everything that you did in your relationship while you were married was right or was good? How do y'all feel like the fellas that y'all were married to didn't have to have super intelligence on holding down the household, working on the finances, making sure that everything is taken care of, making sure y'all got health insurance, benefits, making sure you can go to the doctor, making sure all this stuff, and you want to dilute the whole relationship down to he was holding me, he was tying me down. Now it's time for me to do me. It's time for me to do me. Like, yo, I made a post, and I don't know if I'll say it again, but I made a post where I said you don't have to demote somebody's relevance for your newly found self. So what I mean by that is this. So yo, it's about me right now. F him. F that N. That's a lot of abbreviations. F that N. It's about me. Yo, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, just think about this. King Legend, yo, thanks, Mom. Thanks. But what do we? I don't like it. I don't like it. It's so counterproductive. It's a counterproductive atmosphere. And part of what I look at is if the grandmothers are doing this now, right? Naturally, the daughters are going to mimic the grandmothers. And then naturally, the granddaughters, like my kids would be the granddaughters now. They're going to mimic everything that the mother and the grandmother does. So what type of female are we raising to be wives? And then we didn't even add in the variable, I don't need no N. I don't need them. It's about me. I don't need them. Everything I can do, I don't need nobody to pay no bills for me. PSA. This is PSA for everybody on YouTube. Life ain't about paying bills. At some point, you're going to get old. And once you get old, you're going to really be rethinking some of the things that you're doing right now. So that's my rant. That's my rant. Back to the fellas. Back to the fellas. So I've had a few health issues, right? And that's what really made me start focusing on health and just getting in shape and start women getting masculine energy. Yeah, you're right. But that's what started making me start focusing on getting in shape and watching what I'm eating. Like even right now, we might eat, I think we eat fish maybe twice a week. Every other time we eating beans and stuff like that for our protein. And yo, you can do some dope vegan meals. I ain't gonna lie. King Legend, when you come to Georgia, I got some veggie patties. Them joints be thick. Them joints hitting too. They delicious. But anyway, I already know what you're gonna say before you respond. So yeah, I had to start focusing on certain things that I could do to get blood pressure and all those type of things in the check. Because I had one, is an Indian doctor I went and looked at. I was having certain spells, and August 12th being in Atlanta. Please holler at me. I'll text you. But I had a little Indian doctor I had to go see, and he said, "Hey, buddy." I said, "Okay." I'm sorry, Indian people. If y'all looking at this, I am about to act like y'all. So anyway, he said, "Hey, buddy." I said, "What's up?" He said, "Your heart like a heart of 70-year-old." So like, oh dang, 70. He's like, "Yeah, burst anytime." So I was like, what does that mean? So he just started reading off all these things, and when he read off those things, all I could think of was, I need to get this S together. So so I can be here for these girls, because I got girls, I got a family, I got a mom, I got aunties, I got all these people I need to be here for, right? And he was just like, yo, you got to watch all of these things. If you carry on like you're doing right now, you're gonna have, I'm gonna say, what was it? I got it on my list. You're gonna have diabetes in no time. In no time. Diabetes is in your future. I'm a fortune teller, and diabetes is in your future. So I was like, all right, cool. And I went to work immediately. Came home, started throwing away stuff. I was like, all right, we gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this. And that brings me back to the fellas tonight. The leading cause of death for all men, all races, right? Leading cause, right? Heart disease, cancer, unintentional injuries, right? Now, I want to dig in on the first two. The first two is heart disease is 24.2%, cancer is 22.5%. So, I asked myself while I'm doing my research, what are the causes of heart disease? The leading cause of heart disease and strokes, because they're all related, and high blood pressure, because it's all related, is cholesterol, smoking, secondhand smoke, obesity, unhealthy diet, and physical inactivity. I was like, oh, that's easy. I can fix all of these. These are things that I can easily fix. So, again, I started working, started going to work, and still going to work. So, I'm probably sleeping about 3 or 4 hours at the time. About 3 or 4 hours a day, about what I was sleeping on average. And started having more issues. So I had to go back to the doctor again. This man said, you're looking better, your heart's in better condition, but your nervous system and what was it? It's nervous system, and I can't remember what the other one was. You look like you're having you're under a lot of stress. So I was like, no, I don't feel stressed. I feel good. He's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm sure. So whatever the chart is that they look at to show that this person is under a lot of stress, they need to start lightening up. They need to do this, and that. Show me the chart. So I was like, oh. He says it again. If you keep going, you're going to burst your heart. Your heart will bust. I was like, oh! I don't want my heart to bust. So he said, stop stressing. Get more sleep. So I was like, all right, cool. Now, I'm still working on it. I'm getting a lot more than what I was, but I'm getting more sleep. I'll just say that. Not quite where I should be. I don't see how I can sleep 8 hours. I can't sleep 8 hours a day. I can't do it. Like, that's 8 out of 24. 8. Y'all know what Steve Harvey said. They was making decisions about your way when you was asleep. Anyway. So another thing, and this is digging in on, I'm gonna say a lot of my 30s and late 20-year-old men. One of the other leading causes of heart disease and cancer is what? Cannabis. We love to smoke. We love smoking, right? We do. Let me let y'all know what cannabis will do. Let me show you this. Another effect of cannabis on men. This is what cannabis will do to men. Prolonged and consistent exposure to cannabis can affect your testicular atrophy. That's your balls. This is for the fellas. So all of the weed that we smoking, I don't smoke no more. I don't do that. You be like that, yeah. All the weed we smoking right now, I'm saying we as fellas, the ones that they gotta smoke right quick when they get off work because it's been a long day. You gotta smoke to calm my nerves. Yeah, that right there, you're shrinking your balls up, son. It says what the weed smoke will do is directly damage the symphysis tubal. I can't read these words. I need a doctor. It affects the tubes that go to your balls to mess up the sperm. That's what the weed smoke will do. Right? Hey Cheryl, sorry if you're getting this. Now, another thing, right? Because I want to dig in on the fellas. I feel like I know both sides. I know the corporate man because I've been in that space. I know the blue collar worker because I've been in that space. I smoked a sheet of paper one time in my life. Don't smoke King Legend. And another thing that the blue collar workers, the corporate workers, the guys, the good dads, even the ones that be at church, that be chilling, everybody got to have them a nice cold what? A nice cold beer, right? Or liquor or whatever you're drinking. Let me let you know what alcohol will do. Alcohol increases the risk of cancer of the mouth, throat, esophagus, liver, colon. Commonly, the most common issue or type of cancer that men can get from drinking alcohol is prostate cancer. I did not know that. So prostate cancer is directly connected to drinking. So let's go back to the first part. Let's go Slurpee. My boy crazy. Let's go back to the first thing that we were talking about. What are we doing to decompress? Like, what type of activities can us men do to get us back on track? The first one I told you, this is the one I started. Just start moving around more. Start moving around more. Start doing more things that's going to benefit your health. And I honestly feel like, at least for the first 2 months or so, I was too tired to want to do anything. I'm more of a wine drinker. I ain't gonna lie. I get home and I'll be like, yeah, I need to get me a little glass of wine while I eat my dinner and I'm good. Even in that, it's got alcohol in it, son. So I'm like, alright. So, fellas, and we might start this again towards the end of summer because it's cookout season coming and I don't want nobody to feel pressure. Well, one thing, this is something else. I think a lot of us build up excuses around everything. Because right now, like I just said, it's cookout season, right? It's cookout season. I don't know nobody want to eat good just yet. And then before you know it, it's Christmas and Thanksgiving season. I can't go on a diet just yet. Let me wait till the first of the year. First of the year, you're good. You're going to be good for about 2 months. And then you be like, I can't eat like that because we just came off a fast and I gotta eat at the end of Easter, so I gotta, all of these excuses, we gotta dead these excuses. We're gonna start. We're just gonna start. We're gonna get to it and just start doing the things that's gonna benefit us. One of my last points, and I got about 10-15 more minutes, so we good. One of my last points, what script are we reciting to ourselves? Keep pushing it. What script are we reciting to ourselves? I know for a long time, I would get in the space of feeling like, I won't say feeling sorry for myself, but I would build up the script of saying, well, I don't know what to do, and I'm gonna just keep working hard. But if I keep working hard, I'm not seeing no results. I don't know why I need to keep doing it. A lot of the times, the things that we do, we won't see the results from it for a long time. That's why I keep going back to the weight part. If you work out, you eat right, you start seeing the results. That's something you can control really easily. When it comes to business, going back, when it comes to business, and you start building up certain things, you start building up relationships, you start saving money, you're not going to see $1 million in your first week. Unless you Pablo Escobar, then you can probably see that $1 million real quick. But you're not going to see $1 million in your first week. So it's going to take consistency, doing something over and over. Start seeing the results. Once you start seeing the results, keep going. Honestly, gotta speed. Hey, bruh, I don't need you to die, King Legend. I need you here, King Legend. Period. We not going, bruh, if I need to be your accountability partner, I'll do it. I just said that on camera, so I'll do it. I promise you. But we not dying, bro. We got to recite the things that's gonna benefit. Speak life into your situation, like you just said, right? Another thing, know what you're looking for. These are all basic principles, but It's stuff that I feel like we skate over. Because what happens is, if we're reciting things from the Bible, right, to ourselves, I'm more than a conqueror. Through him I can do all things that strengthens me. All of these things that you start reciting, right? And then that one bad thing comes up, you be like, yo, I need a milkshake. Yo, I need some E&J. Yo, I need some Ciroc right quick. Cause like, yo, today, nigga, today I need something. Yo, I feel like the hard times in life is what really helps us build character. And I feel like those hard times is what starts to etch those positive things that we're reciting to ourselves. It etches it in stone once we start getting into that bag. That's how I honestly feel. Like, if you are in the space, case in point, my family knows, I don't know how many of my family's still on the pod, but I would go on diets when I was younger. And this is something else I learned too, and I'm going to be wrapping up. But I would go on diets when I was in college around the Thanksgiving and Christmas season and have to focus on what I'm eating while I'm there. And they'd be like, oh yeah, he ain't gonna eat that. I got so focused at one point, years later, after I was married, after I moved to Georgia, that I was eating broccoli. Was it broccoli, chicken, rice, every day? Every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I ate it for, I think, well, it was about a month. I ate that same thing 3 times a day. It landed me in a hospital. I'm an extreme person. I'm a very extreme person. But it landed me in a hospital because the doctor was saying, well, you need certain enzymes in your system. You need certain enzymes in your system so it feeds your pancreas. So you need fruit, you need certain vegetables, you need the sweets and all this stuff. Me, I was like, yo, I need to get diesel. I got a shoot coming up. I need to just lose all the weight. I need to lose weight. But it landed me in the hospital because I'm an extreme person. So I was like, yo, we got to get to it. Got to get to it. So I say all that to say this. Once that time came up, everything that I was reciting to myself, like, I'm going to be like Terry Crews. I'm going to be like 50 Cent. Even though the extreme nature that I can get in landed me in the hospital, once I got out, I had to find a little piece of that extreme nature to get back on track to cut weight again. I had to get back on track and cut weight again. Because I was just like, yo, what's the deal? Right? Another thing with reciting the positive things to yourself. If you know that you have a history of doing certain things, whether it's promiscuous activity, whether it's overspending, overeating, not tending to relationships, not cultivating relationships, start reciting the things that you're weak in a positive manner. If you know you're bad at building relationships, I'm the best at building relationships. I'm one of the best in the world at building relationships. My relationships will last long term. My relationships will feed me, my family, and my future, and the community. Start saying that you can, if you have a bad spending habit. This is a good one. Bad spending habits. One of the things I started to do is I would look at everything that I really, really wanted. I really, really wanted, or had to get, because this is a difference. Some things you really want, like a new car, right? You can buy that at some point. You save enough money, you make enough money, you can buy that new car. But certain things that you just would spend on because you know you bad at spending money, stop doing it. And you be like, okay, I'm going to plan, instead of getting Starbucks, which I got to start telling myself that again because I be hitting Starbucks up. But instead of getting Starbucks, I'm going to get these bags of coffee and I'm going to start making my Starbucks at the house. I am Starbucks. I am Starbucks. I am Starbucks. I tell myself that because I'm just like, yo, what happens is you start making your coffee at the house. You up in the morning. You start mixing it. You mixing it. And you drink it. Like, this don't taste like Starbucks. I'm going to dump this coffee out and go to Starbucks. Get some real coffee. Yo, it's real, yo. It's real. So you gotta start telling yourself you're good at saving money. You're one of the richest in the world. All of your riches will be able to be used for outreach and you're going to do all these amazing things with your money. And this is what you say to yourself when you're in your broke season. Say this stuff in your broke season. I'm great with money. Everything that I do, everything that I touch materializes and it turns into gold. You got to say these things in your broke season. I'm telling you from experience. And one of the last, I got 3 points. I'm probably just go for 2 more. Get rid of helplessness. Life and death and exactly, Mom. Get rid of helplessness. I know a lot of people have been groomed to feel and be helpless in their situation, whether that's with things not going right with business. And I keep saying that because that's just the space that I'm in right now. But feeling like things ain't going right in your business, feeling like things ain't going right in your marriage, feeling like things ain't going right with your job, your cars, your house. One of the things I started to erase, I had to erase, and I haven't said it in years now. Now I think about it, it's crazy. But everybody knows the saying that everybody always says, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Every time something happen right here, no, what's a good one? Every time something good happen, I know something bad about to happen to me right after that. Yo, don't adopt that. That is a mindset of helplessness. Erase that. That is not benefiting you. Everything that you do right now should be benefiting you. For one, you got people depending on you. I don't care if you by yourself. You don't even have to be a person that's married. You don't have to be a person that's own businesses and all this stuff. Somebody depends on you in the next year or two, maybe in the next 10 years. And if you stay in this helpless position right now, you won't be on time to meet them when your time comes, whether it's 10, 15 years from now. And that's something that I just really had to adopt. Like, the music business will turn artists into come on, sir. Music business will turn artists into helpless creatures by making them feel like everything that they do has to be counted. Every song that you make has to be a hit. If it ain't a hit, then you're worthless. I'm gonna get somebody younger than you to come do something that you can't do because you're not adequate enough. And then if you already got family history or relational history or friendship history with people that make you feel helpless and hopeless, you're going to just recite the same thing over and over. And in the next 15 years, the next 20 years, you're going to be in the same position. Now, what happens if you start changing that up? You start moving from being helpless to being an overcomer, a winner, a champion, right? All of the words that says this person has made it to a certain position that qualifies them as being successful. What happens if you keep telling yourself that? You keep telling yourself that in the next 5 years you get a little bit better. Next 10 years you get a little bit better. Next 15 years you end up meeting the person that was you 15 years ago. Now you can help them get into the space of moving from helplessness to being a champion and an overcomer. And then they start doing it for 15 years. And then they start doing it for another 15 years. Then they meet their person again. Like, it just keeps going. And that's why I want to drive that point home, because I think a lot of fellas are just losing, maybe some women too, but a lot of fellas are losing hope in just winning and being like an outstanding winner and champion. Everything is happening. What's the saying? Everything is working on us or working for us. If it's not working for you just yet, if you ain't winning just yet, keep doing it, and it's working on you. You're becoming a better person. You're becoming a person that you need to be to speak life into somebody else's situation. What up, Jacob? What up, Jacob? You're late. You are late, Jacob. I saw you come in late. You late, but it's fine. Last thing, and I promise, last thing. I feel like I've been running off at the mouth, but anyway. Last thing, it's time to start writing the next chapter. that idea or that word, because I don't count myself as no minister or nothing like that, because I still like to cuss every now and then. But yo, that word came to me while I was on the way to work one morning, and it was just like, it was clear as day. Like, now it's time to start writing the next chapter. Because I think what happens is this. We start to get in the space of being comfortable reciting the same thing over and over. What up, Mike? We get comfortable with reciting the same thing over and over, doing the same activities over and over. And now, I will say this. A lot of the activities that I've done has created certain opportunities that I'm very comfortable in. I love doing what I do. But then it starts to wear on, how am I being progressive? How am I developing into this new person? And then same thing I'm telling y'all, is it's the same play I run over in my brain. Am I becoming what I need to become right now for the person that I'm going to meet in the next 15 years? If I'm not, then I need to start switching it up. So the word came, it's time to start writing the next chapter. So I was like, okay, what does the next chapter look like? Now, I'm going to tell you this. This is, right now, the next chapter, being in this space is fun. Being in this space is fun for me, because I know what the chapters previous look like, and I know what the chapters next could look like, but the chapter where I am right now, the chapter right now is the one I got to work on. Not the one that's 10 years from now. I got to work on the chapter that's right now. So, I started to think, I said, okay, I still love producing music, so I'm not going to stop doing that. But does me producing music benefit anybody else besides me? Now, a lot of producers that's watching this on maybe Facebook or YouTube, if y'all watching this, y'all can chime in. But does me producing this person right now benefit them as much as it benefits me? Because for me, it's going to benefit a payout, right? I'm going to get my name out a little bit more. Then I'm going to say, oh, man, produced that. Oh, it's dope. It's a vibe. The young folk like to use that word. It's a vibe and this and that. And it keeps me going. It keeps me going. But does it really benefit me as much as it benefits the person? And if the answer is no, then it's time to start changing. Like, so what I started to think about is this. I said, okay, if I'm already coaching people in business, and I love doing that almost as much as I love music, real estate, is this a space that I want to still be in the next 15 years? As a contractor, as a building contractor, do I want to do this in the next 15 years? Ironically, and this is what I mean by this. This is what I mean. The building construction and flipping houses chapter of my life was good for me. It's been great. But that's not effective enough for me. It's not moving the needle forward. So I said, okay. Okay. What's next? So then I started thinking about the pod. Now the pod is growing on TikTok and YouTube, and it's monetized and it's doing all these great things. But I was even thinking about that. People chime in with me, or they tune in every week with me for an hour, a full hour. Am I giving these people something that they can take away, even if it's not a paid coaching session, right? Because again, I gotta get paid. I got mouths to feed. My kids like to eat everything. So I said, okay, am I giving these people enough information that they can run with and go do something with their life? Or am I holding, because this is something that a lot of business coaches do. They'll give you just enough information and hold the information so that you have to pay for a coaching session with them. So for me, I'm like, okay, is this a reflection of Christ? Because I'm a Christian. Is this a reflection of Christ? And am I giving people something that they can take away? And how does this look for the next generation? That's why I keep talking about marriages. That's why I keep talking about the natural man, the natural woman, building relationships with each other. That's not sex driven, for the lack of better words. Build relationships with people that just is good, genuine relationships where everybody benefits. Am I doing things that's going to do that? And when I started digging, I said, okay, I've been doing it, but like it's been that much of this and this much money talk, because I got to get the people to get the money. Musicians be broke, so they got to get to the money. And I feel like God was like, yo, they're gonna get money if they build a relationship. They build a relationship with me first, being God. I'm not God, I'm just saying, God saying build a relationship with him first, and then start building a relationship with people, because everybody knows you can't get money without the money coming through somebody. And I just said, it was a mind blown. So I started going back and forth with different things. Let's see, is it up there? I'm rebranding my Playbook to Production book. And again, it's catered to the musicians, but it's catered to just an overall whole life experience now. Cause the epiphany came, and again, I don't want to sound preachy, but the epiphany came to me for the Playbook to Production, and it was like, yo, you were talking about production when you first wrote the book, true, like music production. But everybody's in the production of something. So I was just like, yo. Yo, if you don't catch it, you don't catch it. But I was just like, yo, okay, everybody's in the production of something. And he's like, yeah, you're either in the production of creating bad decisions. You're in the production of cultivating your relationship. You're producing something. If you got kids, you're producing the next human. You're producing somebody's wife, somebody's husband. You're in the production business. Everybody is. So I get that you were talking about music production, but everybody's in production, so we got to shift a little bit. So I was like, okay. And that's the space that I'm getting into. So again, now it's time to start writing the next chapter. Some folk, it's just time to wrap up the chapter that you in and go to the next one. Some folk, y'all got to add to the chapter, because it ain't time for y'all to leave this joint just yet. Like, you got about 5 paragraphs on this joint. You got to keep writing, because there's more that goes to the story, right? But I think it's time for us to embrace it. And I wanted to get on entrepreneurship, but I'll get on that next week. 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship. That's what we're going to talk about next week. But it's been real. I see Mike in the building. All my TikTok people, I'm sorry, y'all. TikTok, I apologize. I had the party popping, and I think right around Frankie Beverly and Maze, the computer just shut down. So like, sheesh. But anyway, see y'all next week. It's been real. Episode 85 in the books. All right, peace.